Mike Zano, the Zen Master. What's up, brother?
What's up, Mark? How you doing?
I'm good. We are live on the interwebs,
Oh, all
Facebook,
right.
YouTube, Periscope, the Motivation Group. And today we are going to talk about the power of small wins, right?
Yeah. I think it's a great topic,
Yeah,
if you say so myself.
for people that don't know us, I'm Mark Podolsky, the Land Geek with thelandgeek.com. I'm on with the Zen Master, Mike Zano. Mike, what are we? What do we do?
With the Land Geek, we teach people how to land invest, which means we buy property 25 cents on the dollar. When I say property, I mean vacant raw land. We don't improve it. We just sell it to the end user on a monthly payment. So we have a one-time transaction with multiple reoccurring payments coming in, and we make usually 300-400%, which can sound a little crazy, but that's what we do. Maybe we're crazy, but it
Yeah,
works.
yeah. I mean, our whole goal is to get out of solo economic dependency, which means if you're not working, you're not making any money. So we help
Right.
people build this passive income machine, one-time sale, recurring income every single month, no renters, no rehabs, no renovations, no rodents. If you're on live, leave a comment. Friday, we're going to do our giveaway for the Investors Toolkit, a $1,997 value. If you already have the toolkit, you can gift it, or you can bank that money, use it towards flight school. If you're in flight school, use it towards coaching. And for those
Awesome.
people that
Awesome.
are in coaching, use it towards software, whatever you want. Jason Mendoza, good afternoon. It says unknown for me. Let's do this. I don't know why I keep saying unknown. I think the only way I'll see the name is if you're in either the Land Geek group or on YouTube or Periscope. If you're commenting on the official Land Geek Motivation Wealth Creation group, I don't think I get to see your name, which is weird with
Let
Ecamm.
me let me see if I can pull something up.
Dawn Paresa, aloha. She says,
Aloha,
yay,
Don.
hi, Mark and Mike. Derek
Hey, how are you?
Kaufman, hi, guys. What's up, Derek? Racine Sugai, another aloha to you. Good morning. Oh, wait, it's morning here. That's right. Joel is on. What's up, Joel? Hey, guys. Always enjoy these live sessions. Um, hey, guys. Carl Webb, I want free lots Netflix. It just isn't cutting for me. Absolutely. Carl, not a problem. Looking over Tate's shoulder. So, Mike, let's talk
Yes.
about the power of small wins. So, what do you mean by a small win?
Well, I like to contrast it. We always talk about, everybody wants to hit a milestone, 5, 10,000 per month passive, and then we have the stallion Scott Todd. We talk about his crazy, and it can be a bit daunting, I think, at first. So I think it's important to celebrate the small wins. And when I say a small win, we can go anywhere with this, but let's start out with your first sale, right? You make a few $100s per month. You just paid a bill for the next 3, 5, 8, 10 years, right? Sell a few more properties. You got a car payment. A few more. I mean, literally, easily. I mean, easily within a year, you have your mortgage payment. Can you imagine? Within a year, you could have your mortgage paid for the next 10 years, or 5, 10, whatever the length of the notes. It's insane. Those are small wins that I think sometimes since we always have our eye on that prize, right? That 10,000 per month or whatever it may be, we can miss out that there are some really big little wins.
Yeah, you know what? I agree. I mean, you don't need a ton of passive income for it to move the needle in your life. And, Chris Pritchard, the software engineer, used to say, it started off as gas money, then it moved up to grocery money, then it moved up to vacation money, then it moved up into mortgage money, and then it moved up
Yeah,
into do I want my spouse to continue working money or not? And then it worked
right.
all eventually like you wake up and you're like, do I like Scott Bossman, like do I want to continue going in or not? I've just replaced my income. And there's a certain amount of freedom that comes in all these steps, knowing that everything that you want in life is being paid for by your borrowers because you spent that time and made that commitment, whether it was a year, 2 years, 3 years, it's coming anyways, to build that passive income and solve the two problems in life. You solve your money problem and you solve your time problem, which is
Right.
amazing. But you know what's even greater, Mike, is that there's even
What's that?
smaller wins in this business that are just
Yes.
as exciting as you get started that we can celebrate. I know for me, when I hear a coaching client, like their first big small win is just getting their first batch of offers out.
Yeah.
Like that's
It's
exciting.
that's a very good point. I mean, let's take it in a whole different direction. The small wins in your business. I mean, look at something like LG Pass, the new developments we have, where you can drip your mailings, right? Talk about a small win that's pretty big. You upload your list, you could have your mailings literally completed for the entire month or longer, depending how much of you upload. And that's huge. That's off your plate. You know that the only way to get results in this business, I like to say deal flow solves everything. The only way to get deal flow is to mail. So if you could automate those mailings using something like LG Pass and that new drip function, that is a huge small win. I mean, all day long.
Yeah, it's a huge small win. Shafiq Meyer says, "What's up, guys? What's up, Shafiq?" Renee Rogers, with a lot of degrees. She says, "Howdy, fellas. Thank you for the ongoing trainings and chats. What's an NDLACCMT? Do you know? Is that
No,
something medical?"
someone asking you that, or is that after someone's name?
That's after someone's name.
Oh, okay.
Doug Hoyer says, "What's
What's
up? What's up, Doug?"
up, Doug?
Um, so another small win, Mike, that people
What's that?
really get excited about is the first time that a potential seller responds to their offers.
Yeah. Oh, getting that in the mail, or if you get traveling mailbox, getting in your email, or getting an email. That is That is truly awesome, Mark. I mean, who doesn't like? I mean, we used to do that. You used to do that. Remember, you come on and you rip the envelopes open. I don't know what I got today, and I mean,
It was so
that's
fun.
amazing.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
that was a man. It seems like years ago now, right?
We should have like, if anybody's listening, I would love post videos of you opening your offer letters. Like this, I know there's so many people out there. I would love to see this people randomly post video, of themselves opening up their offer letters. So anybody out there, if you have next time you get your offer letters in the mail, don't open them until you record it so you can submit it and we can all watch. I think that's really fun.
Yeah, no, it really is. It used to be like, I mean, it would be like tens of thousands of dollars by opening the mail, and then it'd be so funny. Like somebody would be like, you know, cussing me out on the letter, like how dare I?
Yes. Beep, beep,
Yeah.
beep.
I'm like, what kind of person has this amount of time to like send back the offer trying to ruin my day?
Yeah.
Dawn Paresa says Racine gets a lot of accepted offers, and the owners offer her other properties. I mean, that's another. I mean, I would consider that's like a medium win. When you think you're
Right.
getting one property, you end up getting a bulk deal.
Hmm.
That's a really nice win. I think that's Paul Brewer says, "Howdy, gents.
Yeah, that's Paul
What's
Brewer,
up,
and we got
Paul?
Melody in here. She just bought the toolkit, Mark. So
Oh, congrats,
congratulations on
Melody.
that, Melody. Yeah, no, that's a good point, though, Mark. Is when you're talking to somebody, sometimes they own property in other counties, other states. So a great question. They may not, honestly, sounds strange. They may not even connect the fact that you buy land everywhere. So it's always a great question. Is listen, we buy land everywhere. So if you have something else, oh, I didn't know that. I thought you were only interested in my Colorado property. I happen to have, up in Arizona or Texas more property. So good point.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
he neuropathic doctor, licensed acupuncturist, massage therapist. That's what all that stands for, Mark.
yeah. So that's really cool. Um, Renee, is there anything you can do to make my hair grow a little slower? Like I like it's like my wife this morning is like, oh, you got to put a hat on. I haven't done my Peloton workout yet, so I'm like getting ready to go. But so that's why
Yeah,
Mike
Laura
looks
ordered
so
some
good.
scissors. No, no, no.
And
I got scissors coming in the mail. She said today or tomorrow. I'll be getting a fresh cut.
yeah, how about this for a small win? Derek Kaufman, small win for me yesterday. Hired first two VAs. That you know what? That's not a small win, Mike. That's a medium win.
Yeah, because now even if you're taking something that's a small task and it only takes you a few minutes to do it, but you never have to do that again, how much time did you really just save? That's exponential. So that's not really small. That's medium to large. I mean that's our business model. I always tell people, listen, we invest in raw land, but we also don't do that. We really specialize in not doing things, and so that's the old automation, and that's the beauty of flight school, Mark. If I could bring that up here, because
Yeah.
you're learning Scott Todd's method to to run his. Mark, do you know what he said on a webinar, which I thought was so transparent, and I think it's worth repeating. And I've been telling people this over and over again because I was blown away by it. His children in their teenage years. He said something would have, God forbid, happened to me. The flight school, every current flight school he does is the blue book for them to write. That's the blueprint for them to run his business.
Right.
That's how transparent he is in the flight school. That it is the way that his own children run his business. So you get everything in flight school. You get the whole kit and caboodle. So I don't know. He said that, Mark. That really kind of that changed my perspective a little bit. I mean, I always loved it, but then I was like, whoa, like he's giving everything.
Yeah, he takes so much pride in his students' achievements and just watching them go through the journey. We have such an abundance mentality that I mean, if you've been to boot camp or flight school, you know, like we don't hold anything back. Even on these Facebook lives, like you ask us a question, we're like, oh, you know what? Get the training for that. Like, no, we're gonna answer it for sure. Oh my gosh, did you know about this, Mike?
No, what's that?
Don Preza just sold two today. So she sold two, I think yesterday too. People want to buy land, and she's doing the land arbitrage, which she's going to come talk to us about how she's structuring these deals.
Yeah,
I
that's a
mean,
great topic to have on here one day.
yeah, it's amazing. So, Shafiq Meyer says, I set up a virtual mailbox, so we'll never know the sweet joy and pain of paper envelopes. Yeah, I mean, but even that's a small win. Just getting the mail, like it used to be, I'd have to go to the mailbox and spend that time, getting in my car, going to get the mail, driving back
Right.
home, opening the mail, processing the mail. Maybe I'm scanning it, getting it to my virtual assistant to do intake. Now it's all done virtually over an app. It's amazing. I think that's a really a nice small win is just outsourcing the mail piece of it. This is really interesting. It says unknown. I don't know who it is. I use blue envelopes, return envelopes that I
Well,
know.
that's Melody.
Oh, Melody, if it's a blue envelope, it's an offer. That's really cool, Melody.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Racine Sugai, Arb Queen for Don Pereza. See how the Hawaii people stick together, Mike?
Well, that's good. You know, this is something we've been seeing a lot of, Mark, not just Hawaii people sticking together, because I believe in, sticking with your people. I get it. But we've been seeing a lot of sales, like a ton of sales over these last few weeks from people that work with us, our students, from us, that work with the Land Geek, with you. This this is a thriving market. And, to continually point that out is a good thing because not to give away, we had a little roundtable recording yesterday, won't come until next week, but we did discuss whether or not this is a good time or bad time to get into land business. And you could probably get a sense from what we're saying here, what the real answer to that whole topic was.
Yeah, exactly. Michael Millar, what's up? This is an interesting comment. Going to the mailbox gives me an excuse to get out of the house. Maybe after COVID, I'll try that virtual mailbox. You know,
Yeah.
um, Mike, from a marketing perspective right now, I wanted to ask your opinion on this.
Okay.
So I've been kind of reading about people kind of going stir crazy right
Yeah.
now with COVID, and what they want to do to sort of relieve all that is get out of Dodge and go camping. So you go to a
Yeah.
remote area, you go camping, you're still social distancing, you're still isolating, but you're out of the freaking house and you're
Yes.
doing something that's, hopefully very fun for you. And you're getting out in nature and there's all these benefits to camping. But what if you could market to people your own private campsite
Yeah.
that you own, and then you send them to a site. I think it's called, I want to say Tenter.com, Tentr.com. And then you can say, hey,
Okay.
look, I own this land. Do you want to rent a campsite for the night? It's $20 a night or $30 a night or whatever it is. You can start renting your land out to people to camp on. So you can start marketing and say, hey, look, not only are you going to be able to own a piece of land that you can go camp on immediately while you're making your payments, but you can actually start renting that land out to other people when you're not camping and kind of Airbnb your own land that you don't even own yet. I own, but as you're making payments, this will help you make your payments. What do you think of that as a marketing tool?
I love it. And I'm looking at it now. It's actually two R's. So Tentrr.com. and it's that's a pretty cool website. Yeah, so
Down TEN
TRR.com.
.com.
So
So I have no affiliation with Tenter.com. I just thought it would be kind of cool right now to do that.
No, I
Yeah, and
agree.
HipCamp. Doug Hoyer said HipCamp is another place.
It points out that people are literally in their houses looking out the windows and like waiting for Santa Claus to come. They're dreaming. Like, what can I do? And to have the ability to go to your own property, that's why we're probably seeing so many sales right now. People just want to get away from things. And Mark, I think we're going to have more and more sales because everybody, it's not going to slow down. They're going to realize slowly people are going to realize more and more the benefit of having your own land. So it's just going to continue to grow because, this could come around again. There could be another virus. There could be another reason why you want to get away. So I think our land sales are going to continue to spike.
Oh, I agree. And if you're on here and you don't even know what we're talking about, go to landgeek.com/training, schedule a call with the Zen Master, Mike Zano, or Nightcap OG, Dude Buddy, Scott Bossman, and they'll talk to you about, how and what we do and see if it's a good fit for you. So, Mike Zano, what virtual mailbox do you recommend? I've got my.
I don't use a virtual mailbox. I've heard you talk. Is it Phoenix Mail? Is that still out there?
Yeah, actually, I was just there today doing some other stuff. PhoenixDigitalMailbox.com is what I use. So it's a shipwright. You get a Phoenix digital address. But they don't nickel and dime you. It's like one flat. I think it's like $15 a month or something, really cheap. And they don't nickel and dime you per scan. Unlimited scans. So you get your mail, they scan it. You're on the app. So you can read your mail, and then you can give them direction what to do with the mail. Do you want them to forward it to you? Well, there's a fee for that. But if you don't, you can have them shred it, recycle it, whatever it is. If you get a paper check and you're not automating via GeekPay, they'll deposit the check for you. It's like $7 to do that. So, but it's still overall, like when you factor in your time, you're really saving with a mailbox. There's other ones out there. But I really like, the fact that it's unlimited scans. Shafiq Meyer, does travelingmailbox.com have unlimited scans? That'd be good to know. Hey guys, look up HLRBO.com for leasing your land for hunting, right? Nice. And again, I mean, you guys don't even need to do this. Like, you own the land. We want to sell that land. We want to get that property cash flowing. But you can tell in a value add to your buyer, here's another way that you can help make your monthly payments. Go to these sites, use the property, enjoy it, but then if you want to rent it, you can. And why not? Joel just said, I just signed up with them today. Alex is super helpful. Yeah, Alex is the owner at PhoenixDigitalMailbox.com. So
nice to see Todd's question about should you stop marketing fictitious properties to build an initial buyer's list, Mark? What do you think of that?
Oh, where's Todd? I didn't see it.
Came in just before the HLR comment.
That's a really good question. Should we start marketing fictitious properties to build an initial buyer's list before receiving back offers or owning any land yet? I don't know, man. I don't know. I would say, like, I pre-sell a lot.
Right.
Because I'm in the process of owning that land. Do I want to put an ad up, like a blind ad necessarily, and start building my buyers list that way? I don't know, Todd. There's something about it that doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah, doesn't sit well with you, Mark. I've heard some people talk about it in like, hey, let me gauge the marketability. Is that a right word? Of the property. Sorry, my R's, too many R's in that word for me, of the property, but sounds like you're not totally in favor of that.
I'm not. I'd rather you have something real to sell, right? I'm not against testing a market, but to do it just to build your buyer's list, I don't know. I'd rather build my buyer's list another way. Honestly, instead of saying I've got something to sell, I'd rather say I've got something of value to give you.
Ethical bribe.
An ethical bribe, like here's how to avoid the 3 feet of land buying mistakes, and get them on your buyer's list that way, and then say, oh, by the way, when you have some land to sell it that way. Um, Jason Hoffman says, "Hey, happy Earth Day, everyone." Well, the Earth is pretty happy now with everybody
Today's Earth Day? I'm sorry, I didn't know
social
that.
isolating because the Earth is benefiting with cleaner air, not as many cars on the road. It's pretty weird what's going on, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've heard people referencing different parts of the world where things are cleaner than they've ever been, and wildlife is coming back that hasn't been there, and so on and so forth. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
So Mayo Van Dyke says, "What are the land sales websites you recommend for farm or non-HOA land?"
Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, we always talk about landmodo.com. If he's talking about just advertising land, is that what he's talking about? Where would you
Yeah,
advertise on what platform?
I guess so. I mean, land and farm is one for
Yeah,
farms. Um,
non-HOA land. Yeah, we typically don't deal with HOAs, although some of us, I've done some deals. I know, Mark, you have a lot
whole
of
story.
experience in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But typically that's not our niche. So, and I guess you could, but Landmodo does definitely, that's the premier listing site that we use right now. I mean, such a incredible amount of buyers on there and Scott Todd was saying how traffic has basically doubled over
Yeah.
since recently. So it's a great place to go.
Yeah. People are home. They're on the internet. They want raw land. Um,
And we have it.
and we have it. So let's give it to them if that's what they want. So other small wins, Mike. So what else would you consider another kind of small win in the business?
Well, let's see. We talked about a small adding passive income. We talked about, doing some automations. Um, I would say a small win is just getting started, Mark. I mean, because, look at there's people out there listening to us right now or in our Facebook group that um, have been following us for quite some time, but just like they're looking for that right time to get started. And I'm sure all of us have this in our life. Like, there's going to be a time where I'm going to start to eat right, or I'm going to start to do this, or ride the Peloton, whatever it may be. So I think a small win is just taking action and enrolling in one of our programs. Well, that might be a medium win too, or a lot. But anyway, that's saying, listen, you know what? I'm going to take this time where I'm quarantined and I'm going to turn it into something very positive. I'm going to do something that's going to better myself, better my family, and get involved. Join Flight School. The next one starts May 13th. It's a Wednesday night. It's coming up quick. That'd be a win right there. A small win is just to take a step and dive into the business.
Yeah, if you've not joined Flight School, learn more. Just go to landgeek.com/training. And if you already have the toolkit, it's not like Flight School's in addition to the toolkit. Flight School is included with the toolkit. So if you already
Right.
have the toolkit, it's a credit towards Flight School. And leave in the comments if you recommend Flight School. If you, for those of you in there. So Unknown says ready to get started. I don't know who that is, but
Huh.
we're ready for you.
Yeah, we're ready.
We're ready.
That's for sure. It's going to be an awesome. It's going to come quick. Listen, you sign up today, get immediate access to the toolkit, and then you'll be prepped, ready to roll come the 13th. It's going to come quick. And guess what's going to come quick too? Your first deal or your first successes. And the fact is, a year from now, you're going to look back and say, "Wow, look what I did. I took that opportunity where I was in a little dog bark in the background. I took that opportunity when I was in self isolation to better myself and to change everything from this point forward."
Yeah, I mean it's in really, like Scott Todd says, it's a generational change. You're not just changing you, you're changing your entire family because this is something that you can pass on to the generations. It's a skill that they can learn. You can feed your family forever by learning this model and teaching it to them as well. And what's awesome about raw land, it lasts forever. So
Yeah.
even the asset is generational. Bill Dickens wants to know, is there a start date for June flight school yet?
We have not come up with a flight school start date for June, but Bill, I will get it to you ASAP. I will find out and I'll personally message you, Bill.
All right. Sean Mark Johnson, how much money do you need to get started in investing in land? We did a
Ooh,
whole roundtable podcast on this,
great
Sean.
question.
So, Sean, go to the Art of Passive Income podcast. Just kidding. We'll answer the question for you. But we did spend like 30 minutes on this, and everybody talked about it. But oh, congrats, Michael Newble. Signed up for flight school 2 days ago. I love it. We can't wait to see you in there. Um, so I started with $3,000.
Right.
Mike, you started with.
Well, I say I started with negative, but you got to have some money. You got to somehow put some money together to get some mailings out. But you know what? You get to choose the price point that so we have a range that works well for us. I happen to start at the beginning with buying properties for a few $100s. The option is still there today. You can buy properties literally. I literally buy property for $100, Mark. Still to this day. I mean, that's no joke. And in the beginning, I would have thought that was crazy, but it can be done. So you choose your price point. So you want to buy a few properties at $250 a piece, you have $1,000, you can buy 4 properties, literally 4 properties at $250 a piece. So that's the thing, right? So you don't have to have a ton of money. You have to get your mailers out. Even if you round up extremely high and call it a dollar a mailer, which we know is really rounding it up, so $100 a week, but one deal is going to trump that mailing cost. One deal brings it all back times 10. So you got to have a couple of dollars, but I don't think you need a ton. What you really need is the commitment and the drive and the just the fact that you're going to stay focused on what you need to do.
Yeah, I mean, we have clients that start with less than $1,000, $500. Scott Todd actually made the really compelling argument. The less capital you have to start, you actually have an advantage because it makes you more resourceful. As opposed to if you got tons of capital at your disposal, well, you can invest here, you can invest there. You can kind of you might not be as resourceful as the people that have less resources. Derek Kaufman says flight school tonight for the February class has been fantastic and highly motivating. Jen Ramquist, what's up, Jen? Taking advantage of this time off to immerse myself in flight school. Phenomenal.
Awesome.
Phenomenal.
Let's not forget too, Mark. Whoever has if you find a property and it's a great deal, you've got some power there. You go in this group and you say, listen, anybody want to partner on a deal here? You'll find we have a great group of people, and that's one of the things that's awesome is our community. You will find people be all day long looking to partner with you. So don't worry about how you're going to pay for it. If you get a good deal, believe me, you can make it happen. Just that's why mailing is number one. Get the deals coming, and then you're going to have what you would like to say, what you typically say, Mark, a new problem, but a good problem, and it's easy to solve.
Yeah, Lewis Smith, I hope you're being safe out there in New York City. So Shafiq Meyer says, a few weeks into flight school, I recommend it, trying to follow in the footsteps of Dawn Racine. Maybe that's too ambitious, though. Well, look, nice. Shafiq, comparison is the thief of happiness. We all can't be a Dawn. We all can't be Racine, right? But you can be you, and things are going to happen for you at your pace. So let go of the result and just focus on what you can focus on, which is how many offers you get out of the day, how many ads you get out of the day. Really focus on those M&Ms. And you're a baby in this. You've just started. It's like you got to be kind to yourself like you would a baby, right?
Right.
So this is an interesting question, Mike Zano, since you're an East Coast guy. What about buying land in the New York City?
Yeah. Well, a lot of times we talk to people, Mark, they're like, yeah, I'm going to start where I live. And I say, well, where do you live? And they'll say New York or, look, I live near Boston. It's a great idea, but it doesn't really fit our model. I mean, we have a very certain, way that we look at areas. One of them, we want to be a certain amount of hours away from a major city, but we want to have low taxes and abundance of land, all that. It just doesn't fit in. New York City, yeah, would it be great to buy land 25 cents a dollar? Absolutely. But I think we may run out of money with the mailing side of it before you find that property. So there's areas you can go that you can literally, out of 100 mailers, buy a couple of properties. So
yeah,
it's just a matter of scaling.
Yeah, Lewis, think about it. Let's say you have an infill lot in New York City, which is probably what you'd be able to get, and let's say it's $1 million or $2 million or whatever it is. They're not going to sell it directly to you. They're going to go to the biggest, baddest land broker in town and sell that bad boy retail, or maybe at an auction. So we're looking for properties 2 to 3 hours from the nearest city that we can buy 25, 30 cents on the dollar. At one point, it was an asset to your sellers, but now it's a liability. They're paying property taxes every year. They're never going out there. They're not using it. It's just like something in your garage now. Like you just want to get rid of it, and you're helping them with it, and then you're helping someone else down the line that does want that property for whatever reason, and you're owner financing it, so you're getting your money out within the down payment or maybe 6 to 12 months out, but then you've got this passive income stream coming in every single month. No renters, no rehabs, no renovations, no rodents, and that's really the model. Um, so we got some comments in here and a question from Daniel DiVincenzo. I hope I pronounced his name right. How many counties do you recommend mailing when you first start?
Ooh.
That's a common question. When you say,
That was a
Mike?
great round table too. Remember that one?
That was
That
a
was
round table.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm getting offended now that people aren't listening to the podcast. Go to the Art of Passive Income podcast.
Well, no, that actually was on the one we
Kidding.
talked about. What would you do differently if you started again in the business? And I think all of us on the round table pretty much said the same thing. We would have stuck to one area. We wouldn't have drifted around. It's so easy to get what you call shiny object syndrome. It's so easy to be drawn away and onto the next best thing. But we were all talking about literally, you could just spend time in one area, but that comes down again. And one of the first foundational lessons you learn in flight school is where to invest, right? Finding that area, county research. And that's why Scott does such a deep dive on that, because that sets you up for success for the rest of the process.
Yeah. Oh, and so Lewis is reframing. He's like, how about Albany, which is 3 hours away from the city? Yeah. I haven't done a deal in Albany, but I know, excuse me, several clients that have. So there's nothing wrong with Albany for sure.
Now remember, there's it's like a funnel we go through, or a sifting process. Like 2 or 3, 4 hours away from a major city, low annual taxes. We love to have land that's equal in size, like a big, huge, like when we say subdivision, like I think that can mislead people sometimes. Like I live in a cul-de-sac subdivision, it's like 7 or 8 houses. But when we talk about, Mark, a subdivision in Arizona, or in Texas, I mean, it's like equal sized properties that are just like, it's mind boggling. You know, you go down to somewhere in New Mexico, it's like, wow. Now that really is lining yourself up for a successful mailing that's really simple, and you're lining yourself up for success. So yeah, maybe Albany is great, but I bet you'd find some other areas that would have just, again, there's a bunch of different criteria that we work together to find that really sweet spot.
Yeah. If I were Lewis Smith, I'd schedule a call with you and learn more.
Yeah, let's talk.
Yeah.
That's a great idea, actually.
Yeah. Carl Webb's got a great question. What's up, Carl? It's always great seeing Carl Webb. What response rate do you shoot for when mailing to all out-of-state owners versus just the tax delinquent owners?
Good question.
So, for those of you that don't understand what Carl's talking about, the lowest hanging fruit when you got your list of people that own vacant land is going to be people that live out of state and owe back taxes. Right. So they have no emotional attachment to their raw land. They're distressed financially in some way because, look, we don't pay our taxes. It means we don't value it in the same way. So their response rate should be still, I mean, I always stick to 3 to 5%, Mike. What do you think? Do you think it would be higher?
No, I think we're about the same. Listen, when I talk to people, I'll say, listen, if I tell you I can buy property 25 cents on a dollar, you might say, yeah, right, convince me. Then I say, well, listen, they don't pay their taxes. They've already identified that they're not interested in the property. They don't live near the property. Now, okay, I get it. We can win them over. But then once you believe that, let's believe the next thing, that there are some people that like to pay their taxes, but it doesn't mean they're not motivated to sell them, and they don't live near them as well. So that's when you start your mind should explode. So, whoa, there is no scarcity here. There's so much property out there because, yes, the low-lying fruit, we go for that. But then we realize there's all these other people that want to sell too. So I think it's the same response rate. I think it's just it's an opening up of your mind. I think that we bait you and let you know that, hey, this is how it works because they're tax delinquent. And now you can believe us, but then we can really scale your belief and say, guess what? You can buy more property like that too. Trust us. We do it all the time. And it's very real.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Austin Goff has a great question, Mike. He wants to know about the $1 Skittle. At what point are the back taxes owed too much to do a deal with the owner? So before we talk about the dollar Skittle, if you guys aren't watching Nightcap, Mike, talk about Nightcap.
It started about 2 years ago, Mark. You suggested we do it, and we were like, "Are you sure people are going to want to see this?" Well, we realized there's people late at night that are burning the midnight oil, and hey, let's come approach them where they are. Let's bring them some content. Let's have a drink with them virtually, and let's talk land investing. So, listen, there's a lot of fun, capital FUN, but there's also a lot of content, and so it's a great time. In fact, tonight, 10 o'clock Eastern, we're going to be live again, and we have you there. We'd love to answer questions. We got Matt, Fortune 500 Forbes, who joined us now. He started out as the guy that just came in for the toast or the refill, and now he's in there the whole show with us. It's because he's amazing. He's a great addition. So you got to come in. It's just an awesome process. So the $1 skill, we had a show, Mark. We talked about all these different ways, and we like to just. So yeah, if somebody owes a lot of back taxes, what's the point? Well, if you know that you should buy it at $400 and they own it for, if their back taxes are 500, well, yeah, you've probably gone beyond that. Maybe, it depends. It's all situational. We were saying, listen, if someone has gone so delinquent in their properties, remember, these taxes in these areas could only be $20, $30 a year. We're not talking a lot, but if they're hundreds of dollars in taxes or multiple years, they're not going to pay that, Mark, in most cases. So we come in and say, listen, let me do you a favor here. Let me take it off your hands. I'll give you a couple dollars for your time, and that'll be good. You won't have to worry about these taxes ever again. And guess what? It works. That's the $1 Skittle. You can literally buy property for $1. Literally.
Yeah. I mean, Austin, I had one subdivision where I was literally buying properties for $1, and I made the mistake. I was at a sports bar with my buddies, and we were all talking about business, and they were bragging about their jobs, and I said, I bought property today for $1, and they were mortified. They were mortified. Like, how dare you take advantage of somebody and only buy property for $1? I'm like, no, you guys don't understand. If I'm not taking advantage of anybody, I'm helping them. They're gonna lose it. They can take the tax loss off their taxes. They were like, oh, Mark, you're a shark. I'm like, no.
That's a good point, Mark.
I'm not forcing them to sell me the land. I made an offer of $2,500. They owed $2,500 in back taxes. They just want to be rid of it. They were going to lose it anyways. They got a buck. They get to write off the $2,500 as a capital gain, as a capital loss off their income on their taxes. Helping. I'll never forget that. I don't brag anymore about the $1 Skittle after that.
Well, first of all, so two things there. One, you're definitely helping. In fact, I would tell people sometimes in negotiations, listen, if you want more money, here's what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to sell it to someone and pay them. Forget it. That's way too much work. They don't realize how simple it is, right? And so I'm very transparent about that. We're not taking advantage of anybody. They're done with that property. But the other point is, you first start talking to your friends about land investing, they'd be like, yeah, right. That's crazy. And then guess what? When you start making money, they don't want to hear how much money you made on a deal either, because then it's like, so you're really in a no-win situation there, right, Mark? It's like they're going to like taunt you. Oh, you're going to go buy land, never look at it. Sure. Then you start making good money doing it and great money. They don't want to hear that either. So there again is where the community comes in, because we want to hear it. We like to celebrate successes because we know if you can do it, we can do it, and vice versa.
My first year in the business, I learned. I tell the story at boot camp, but I won't tell you the whole story right now. But let's just suffice to say, I was land snobby, and my buddies offered to split a deal with me, and I thought, oh, no one's gonna buy it. It's too ugly for me. It's too cheap for me. I became a land snob. He's like, well, someone will buy it at this price. He sold out all of it, and he emailed me every sale every day.
Oh my God!
For 6 months, he literally made $100,000.
There was more than one property. It was a bunch of properties.
No, oh yeah, he had a huge bulk deal. $100,000 he made in cash. I would have made $50,000 if I had just split the deal with him. I mean, it was ever since then. I'm no longer a land snob. So like, I can imagine, Mike, if you talking to your buddies at the fire station, you're like, yeah, I just bought a piece of land for $100. You're like, Mike, what kind of junk land are you buying for $100? What is that? Are they testing nuclear weapons out there? But
listen,
it's not. Is that good? It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's good. It's true though. People don't understand. Like it's really hard to wrap your head around it until you're really just surrounded by it. And all I can say is we're in a very unique niche, right? And If you really want to learn how to do this, come join. I mean, seriously, there's no scarcity here. There's so many deals to be had at this price point, and come join us. Seriously, come join us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So Renee Rogers, recalling the discussion of types of deeds, why not do a warranty deed every time versus special or quitclaim? What's the trade-off? Well, okay, so when we're buying land, right, we want our sellers to convey via warranty deed because that's the best deed. They're they're saying that, during the very beginning of time, that they warrant, there's been no liens or encumbrances, clouding the title, no breaks in the chain of title. Special warranty deed is only when during their time of ownership, and a quitclaim deed doesn't warrant anything. So when we actually sell property, I certainly want to do unto others as I would have them do unto me. So I only convey ownership via a warranty deed, um, and not a special warranty deed, and certainly not a quitclaim deed. Now your attorney will probably say to you, "Oh, Renee, only use a special warranty deed." But if you've done your due diligence correctly, then you feel comfortable doing warranty deeds after a while.
Yeah. And listen, part of I'm going to go back to it over again because it's awesome. Part of the flight school, Scott Todd goes over how to do the due diligence, how to feel confident that what you're buying is what it is, and that you can convey it with that warranty deed when you sell it. So it's what we do.
Yeah, that's a small win. When you first do your first deed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
you go through that process. Like that's
the
amazing
big win
feeling.
was
That's a big
the
win,
big
yeah.
win was well, the big win was making LG pass so that you can just click a button and make a deed, which is a small. I mean, I don't know. No more. I remember, Mark, when you were talking about LG Patch, like, oh, this thing is. I'm like, when do I get to see it? Oh, we're saving hours and hours and days. Man,
Man,
that was a great transition.
LG Pass is amazing. We finally opened it up to everybody. Just go to
Oh,
landgeek.com/LG Pass, and you can get started in there. Um, okay, so this is a really good question, Mike,
all
from
right.
my buddy Todd Cachette in, of all places, Tampa, Florida. So, what's up, Todd? He says, setting up the back end of the business. I'm not tech savvy. What task management software should I implement? Airtable, Podio, Trello? What do you think? I mean, I assume Todd's using LG Pass, but if he wants task management with the VAs, do
Right.
you have a preference?
I see what he's not all right. Back end, yeah. So there are a number of options. I mean, listen, we hear Mimi and Scott Todd battling back and forth between PipeDrive and Trello, and the advantages and disadvantages and so on and so forth. There's a number of processes that you can, software platforms that you can use like that. And in terms of managing like projects and stuff, I've been playing around with a new one, Mark, called ClickUp. I don't know, it's not new, but it's new to me. Have
What's
you
it
ever
called?
used that?
I've never heard.
ClickUp.
CLICK. I'm gonna check.
CLICUP.com. They're just managing like things that, everyday tasks that you have to
How do
do or
you find
whatnot.
this stuff? This should be like a tip
Oh,
of the week on the podcast. Give me a break.
well, then I go to the quotes, and then
ClickUp.com.
Scott Todd doesn't want to hear the quotes, so I gotta.
All right, wait. Click
I like it because it has
up.
it has that Kanban board that you would see in Trello or in PipeDrive, but I can assign tasks to my wife.
Oh
In
my
there, I go, Laura,
gosh.
you gotta do this.
All right, because we're streaming live, I can't check it out, but my internet's super
It's
slow.
good.
All right, ClickUp. Yeah. So Todd, I mean, honestly, Todd, like they're all great. I think it's just gonna depend on you, how you want, like what kind of UI do you want, what kind of user interface do you feel most comfortable with is really, I think, the answer because they're all ultimately the whole idea is that you're organized and that you're going to be able to travel around the world. Todd, I know you want to go to 100 different countries, so you're not being able to travel if you don't have that back end set up with transparency and accountability with your team and you being at a glance while you're traveling on your phone. I mean, certainly it's going to have an app, right? I think, and they all do, but you're going to be able to have to see at a glance what your team is doing at any point in time, between LG Pass and really whatever back end. I mean, I personally love Airtable,
Yeah,
but that's just
no doubt.
me. I just love Airtable, but that doesn't mean that you should. So it's just going to depend on you. And if you're not tech savvy, go to Fiverr.com and do some searches for Trello, Airtable, and Podio, and get an idea of what virtual assistants and their ratings, and see how they can help set up something custom for you for like under $100, I bet. So no reason for you to get in the weeds on this tech. What do you think,
No,
Mike?
I love it. In fact, if you can just map out what you want, if you can just speak what you want, somebody can make it happen. Truly, I was just watching a TED talk on mind mapping, and I know we talk about that a lot in our business, and I love that. If you can mind map something, basically put onto paper kind of what you want to happen, somebody out there can implement it for you.
Yeah. So Gamache Inc. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Do you have any programs for completely hands-off investors that want to invest money and make some cash, but have no
Ooh.
time to really learn the business to do it themselves? So I can't, in this forum, publicly discuss it. But if you are an accredited investor, which means that you have a net worth of over $1 million, minus your home, or your income is over $250,000 a year, I can discuss that with you one-on-one. Just email me, mark@thelandgeek.com. But suffice to say, yes, we do have options for high net worth individuals where we can help them make a very nice return on their money. So what is the max number of owners on title you'll mail to?
When it comes to mailing, Mark, it's quick and dirty in my mind, right? It's not, we can sort it out on the due diligence phase. And someone accepts an offer, counter offers, great, and then at the next phase, we can quickly look at it and say, is this going to be a nightmare or not? I've had them where, and I'm sure you have, where you got 4 or 5 different people that are in different states. It's definitely doable and actually not that difficult. But maybe I wouldn't really exclude that in the mailing phase myself. I mean, we're just going to mail, and then we're going to deal with what comes in.
Yeah, absolutely. I like a lot of people don't mail LLCs. I mail LLCs. The only people I don't want to mail to are international owners. It's too expensive, too time consuming, too much of a pain. Do you mail international people?
No.
No. Jason Baines, howdy from Oregon. Thanks for all the great info. Looking at pulling the trigger on the toolkit and possibly flight school. What do you think about investing in Oregon? So Jason, have you had a call yet? Let me put the link in here. Schedule a call with Mike or Scott.
A lot of deals in Oregon, Mark.
And talk to them in depth about Oregon and flight school and the toolkit and what might be right for you in your personal situation as of right now. But Jason, I'll tell you something right now, just between you and me. Everybody else, you don't have to listen to me.
Listen.
I love Oregon. Lots of deals to be had in Oregon.
Because people love Oregon. It's beautiful out there.
It's gorgeous out there. Todd Cachette, flattery will get you everywhere. I've recommended Dirt Rich to 3 people this week. Thank you, Todd. I really appreciate it. I really do.
Pretty sure that's an international bestseller now. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's it goes. I think as far as like business books are concerned, I believe it goes Dirt Rich, then the 4-Hour Work Week, and then Rich Dad Poor Dad. Like,
yes.
Can you imagine? I love when like people are to kind of ask me like about writing a book, and like I'm writing the second book right now, and all I can think about is how can I procrastinate writing? It's the worst process ever. If you're gonna write a business book, yikes. Good luck with that. It's hard. But that being said, I'm so glad that I got it done, and that was one of the most miserable experiences of my life. I was so sick, Mike, because at one point the publisher's like, "Are you ready to lock the manuscript?" And you know how it is, like it's never ready. Like when you're writing,
right.
Like it's never going to be good enough. And at some point,
it's never going to be perfect.
They had to be like, "Okay, it's good enough. Like just lock it." I'm like, miserable.
But you know what? I'm going to say this, and I'm not trying to flatter you or anything like that. But the truth of the matter, it's the truth of the matter. Anybody who's starting out with the land business is going to have fears. A friend of mine always say the FUDs: fears, uncertainties, and doubts. Mark, you had them as well, and you go through them in the book. So the mindset that you had then is the same mindset somebody would have now. That alone is worth reading it because it puts you right in the front seat of somebody who was, you weren't 100%, you didn't know, what is this? You didn't know what you were getting involved in and what the results were going to be, and you just winged it. But that, I think, does bring a lot of help to people who are looking at getting in the business now. So it's a great mindset book.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Shafiq Meyer, I've been looking at Process.Street the past few days. Looks like it would be really good for setting up checklists for different parts of the business.
Well, check that
handing
out.
work to VAs. I love Process Street, Shafiq. Absolutely. I mean, you want to talk about total transparency. They check off what they've done. You just go in there like, did this process get done or not? Yeah, it's really great.
Very cool.
Here we go. Would you recommend uh, mailing the same list offers every 90 days? What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, we talk about that. And this is something that I think hits upon a bigger point. You know, people say, what if somebody else mails the county that I'm in? Is there going to be saturation? Look, it's all about timing. Send your letters out. Somebody may open, like, was it you, Mark, or Scott Todd pointing that a lot? Everybody's opening all of the mail. Is that you that said on the round table? You're talking about how all the mail is getting opened now because of
Yeah, it was
everybody's
me.
home and they're probably bored.
Yeah, I'm the one that mentioned that.
Yeah, so there's a timing issue. Somebody may have just had their car break down, or their child's going to college, and who knows? There's a million reasons why someone will be motivated today or not today, and motivated in 90 days. Or so we do recommend every 4 months or so, 3 to 4 months, you would mail again because it's all timing, and you will always continually get deals. It's just I wouldn't overanalyze that. I think it's just plain old timing. People's life situations change, the reasons why they may sell change, and yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah. What's up, Jacqueline Spruley? It's Josh Spruill? Spruill? I don't know if I know how to pronounce Jacqueline's last name. Spryle?
I'm sure you just destroyed it.
I just destroyed it. She's like, oh, Mark, stop. Oh, stop. Renee Rogers. We haven't had a call yet. I'm sitting next to Jason right now. All right. Well, get that call in. Come on, Jason.
Let's talk.
Come on, Renee. They love Oregon. Randy Jarznicki. That I know I pronounced right. What's up, Randy? Says, hey, geeks. Dean McDonald is helping out Bill Dickens. Dean's in flights going, and Bill wants to know, should I know Excel before I get into flights going? He's like, not a bad idea, but a few hours on YouTube or Google, and you can learn what you need to sort scrub lists in Excel. Dean, come on, man. Seriously? No. How much money do you make scrubbing a list? Outsource that for $5. Go to bed. Let the Philippines or India scrub that list. You wake up and it's done. Sorry, Dean. Unless you really love Excel. But well, I don't mess with it.
I will say that recently, over the last few years, I've realized, and I think I told you this, Excel to me has become like poetry. Remember what poetry is? You have an experience. I can't just convey it in actual words. So I write it down in these phrases or whatever however you describe when you write poetry, right? And the person reads it, gets the feeling you had when you wrote it. So it's magical, right? Excel, if you look at someone's Excel sheet and you study it long enough, you can actually get a sense of how their mind is working. So I do think I had a new appreciation, I should say, of Excel. It's like poetry.
Yeah.
Not to say that I'm not good at it, but I love looking at them and seeing why did he do this, and so on and so forth.
Wasn't there a movie about that guy? He was a mathematician called A Beautiful Mind.
Great movie.
Great movie. But it's like that, right?
Yes.
But of course he had some problems.
I guess it's also like The Matrix in a way, right? Because all of a sudden you're looking like, whoa.
Yeah. I'm finding art and poetry like everywhere now. Like even just watching like Netflix and just watching like Top Chef. Like to me, they're artists. The way that they create and the way that they're so committed to their craft. And I think there's a lot that we can apply to our craft of land investing that can make this process deeper and more joyful for sure. Jiro dreams of land. Mike Zano dreams of land. Okay, so Jacqueline's got a question. Could you talk about time management? How do you manage the calls coming in so you're not on the phone all day and yet you're responding promptly.
Well, that's what we call an intake manager. If that's the question, if I'm understanding the question correctly, you mail a lot of offer letters, you're going to have a lot of potential deals, and there is going to be a lot of land therapy, which is people will let their land go 25 cents on the dollar, but many of them are older and they'd like to tell you the story about how they acquired it. And it's all part of the releasing process. And it's actually quite fascinating. And I love those stories, but can't do a lot of them, right? So an intake manager, it's all about outsourcing the business.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, Jacqueline, you don't want to create another job for yourself. And the intake manager, we actually, again, I hate to bring up the podcast again, shameless plug. We talk about like which VA rule we love the most, and we all were like the intake manager is so critical. It saved us so much time. You
Right.
get intake off your plate. I mean, colors are more vibrant. Food tastes better. You start dressing like Mike Zano. I mean, you dress better. You just feel better. You know, it's good. Dean McDonald says data nerd guilty. Should Dean be saying data geek though? What's the difference
You
between a
want?
geek and a nerd? Is there much of a difference?
Uh, I think a geek might. I think a geek might be more tech savvy. Is that right? I don't know.
I don't know, Dean. What's the difference between a geek and a nerd? I think there is like a slight difference.
I'm gonna Google it. I need to know.
I feel like geeks are more socially adept, maybe. I don't know. Um, okay, so Jacqueline says I meant responding to sales leads for selling the property. Ooh. Okay, Jacqueline, if you have a lot of inventory, that's where we start talking about having a sales assistant or a sales manager or an acquisition manager. That's a little bit different, and that's sort of more advanced. However, um, if you don't have a lot of inventory where you could feed someone like that, then I would say either have an inexpensive sales assistant that's qualifying those leads for you, and then you're getting on the phone and closing. That's probably what you want to do at this point. Would you agree, Mike?
Yes, absolutely. You need to have a lot of deal flow to support a sales manager. Otherwise, just go ahead and have somebody who qualifies. And Mark, there is a difference. A geek is an enthusiast of a particular subject or field. Geeks are collection orientated, gathering facts and mementos related to the subject of interest, obsessed with the newest, coolest, trendiest things this subject has to offer. But a nerd is a studious intellectual, although again of a particular topic or field. Nerds are achievement orientated and focus their efforts on acquiring knowledge and skills over trivia and memorabilia. So you are a geek,
Interesting.
Mark, because you're
I
not doing trivia and memorabilia.
I no, definitely not. I'm definitely not someone that I'm not a
You're not
memorabilia
the
person. Like
you're not
Boston
the land
loves
nerd.
memorabilia. I'm definitely the land geek.
So
Um,
Bossman's a land nerd. Is that what you
he's a
just said?
land.
I've heard
He kind of might be. You know.
Bossman. You listen.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to buy the domain now, land nerd, with like and just have like a picture of Bossman. So
That's all it is.
If Pablo is like, okay, I'm a geek. We only have a few more minutes here. Jason Mendoza, uh, we'll have this as our last question. Where can you find a good intake manager? Best places to start looking. What do you think,
For a
Mike?
good intake manager. Well, Upwork.com is a great platform to find anybody, but it's sort of like you got to go through and find the one. You're not going to knock it out of the park with the first person you choose. It's going to be a slight pain to the process, but hey, it's worth going through because when you find that person who's going to be the one that works for you, it's well worth it.
Yeah, I mean, Jason, when you go through that VA program on the toolkit, we talk about that philosophy of hire three, cut two. So you test three people right away, see which one is giving their emotional labor. They're thinking for themselves. They're not so dependent on you. They're A players versus B players. And when it comes to VAs, like unfortunately, you do gotta kiss a lot of frogs before you find that prince or princess.
Mark, good
Jason,
news.
yeah.
Landnerd.com's available for a measly $3,895.
Well, let's go shopping. Let's do it.
It's
Um,
worth it for Bossman's picture.
it definitely is. I mean, why not? Um, okay, so I just want to thank everybody for being live on today's Facebook Live. Really, really appreciate your time, your attention, your questions. Um, and Carl Webb goes, "What about Landork?" That'd be a good one too.
Ooh, that is a good
Landork.
one.
Um, and hopefully everyone is enjoying, if they can, if I can say enjoying, or doing their best with quarantine, staying safe, staying sane, and really delving deep into the land business. We are here to help. Again, learn more at landgeek.com/training. If you haven't checked out the podcast, go to the Art of Passive Income podcast. You can binge listen all you want there. And, we have so much information out there, but
Tonight,
your
10 o'clock
nightcap.
Eastern. Please be there.
Yeah, and so Mike, if for people to join Nightcap, you can be on YouTube. It'll stream live there.
Yeah.
The
Or
official
Facebook.
motivation group or the Facebook page, the Landgeek page. I think you can set up notifications when we go live, so you
Yes.
kind of know, and do that. But let's all do this together. Are we ready?
We're ready.
1, 2, 3. Let
Let
freedom
freedom
ring.
ring.
And of course,
Wash your hands.
wash your hands. Thanks for listening to Guy. I mentioned a toolkit giveaway earlier. If you just leave a comment, you're already in for the toolkit giveaway. Thank you, Bill Dickens. Thanks everybody. We're feeling the love, and that love is motivating us to keep doing this every single day during quarantine. Now after quarantine, can I guarantee we're going to keep doing this every single day? No, but I like the streak, Mike. I love the fact that we're
Yeah.
doing this every day.
It is. It's awesome. And I've heard actually a lot of feedback. People really do enjoy that you come on here every day. And, it gives people something to focus on that's positive, and that's good.
Yeah, thank you, Don Prezo. Thank you, mahalo. Dean McDonald, mahalo. I like saying mahalo.
Mahalo it is.
Mahalo it is. Paul Bellotti, thank you. Thanks, guys. And so hopefully we'll see everybody tonight. I know what I will be drinking tonight. Mike, what am I drinking?
Tequila.
Mike's tequila, Casa Nobla. Casa Nobla. I'm getting low, by the way. Yeah, it's so good. Tequila is the only alcohol that doesn't make you tired, right? The agave.
It's actually healthy.
Well, I don't know about that, but the one
In
glass
minor doses.
is great.
Small.
It's great. Paul's like Corona beer for me. Really, Paul?
Oh.
Corona beer?
Is
Really?
it too early for that?
I think it's too early. Thanks, Danny Chen. Mike Zano, I love you, man. Thanks for being on.
Love you too, man. Thank you.
See you
Pleasure
guys.
to be here.